Yeah. New news drop, everybody stops and comes running. Oh, just to see what Danny J have to say. Yeah. He brings the truth. Oh, day by day. Oh, live for live. Now here's what you need to do. Come on, jump into life now. See what the receiver man is talking about. Energy is on and ready to give you flavor full of baby, cause he jump into life now. See what the receiver man is talking about. Energy is on and ready to give you flavor full of baby, cause he live and living color, baby. Your favorite blogger is alive and loaded and ready to go. If it ain't official Dana J, Prima Donna News, I don't even want to see it. No, we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. Let's live today. I'm saying just in case. Although we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. Let's live today. I'm saying just in case. Dear world, I'm writing this letter in an attempt to make things just a little better. This is about living through life's stormy weather, because the truth is that we're not gonna live forever, and that's my point. Well, let me start with my boy just doing 15 in a joint. The man he could hoop, but he loved the street life. Couldn't win pro, instead he chose the street life. He turned rapper and wrote about the street life, but still could not make it out the street life. And one day he bought a clock. Wait, that page number 2 will take you to another block. A man and his wife can't get along, all they do is fight. Both too stubborn to apologize, and sometimes it gets so bad they hope each other dies. And one day she couldn't take it no more, so she decided to run out of the door. She jumped in the car and swerved off in the rage, and maybe I'm sorry was all over mistake. Oh, we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. Let's live today. I'm saying just in case. Now that my homie done bought himself a gun, he stuck up some liquor stores, now he's on the run. Do anything to avoid the police. Now he's strung out on drugs and life is getting deep. To anyone, he would do anything. Give him the chance and he'd steal anything. Next thing he did really screwed up his life. But first, let's go back to the husband and wife. Now he's on the phone with his pastor, and she's on the phone with her mother. He tells his pastor the woman is driving me crazy. Then swore up and down she's not the same lady. She says, Mama, the man has been treating me so bad ever since we found out that I couldn't have babies. Then Mama says to her, girl, hold on. Pastor says to him, be strong. Oh, we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. Let's live today. I'm saying just in case. Oh, we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. Let's live today. I'm saying just in case. Now there's a warrant out for my boy's arrest, cause he done went and stabbed someone in the chest. Man, them drugs has got him breaking all of the rules now. His face is posted up and all over the news now. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, the husband and wife are starting to break down. She says to Mama, maybe I ought to call him. And Mama said that that's the spirit. He says to Pastor, maybe I should call and say I love her. He say I'm sure she loves to hear it. Then she gets a call on the other line. It's the doctor saying your test results came back fine. Congrats, girl, you're pregnant. Then she cries, finally a miracle sent from heaven. Now meanwhile, the other side of town, all hell broke loose and it's going down. Cops chasing Reginald all over town. He's running every red light and driving real wild. Now meanwhile, and this ain't fiction, here is where I need y'all to pay close attention. She's so happy, she calls her husband up. He says, I'm sorry, baby, just as soon as he picks up. She says, I'm sorry too, and I got good news for you. Steve, I'm pregnant and on my way home to you. He jumps for joy, scream hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. cars. While Reginald is still chased by police. She takes the highway, get her there much faster. Reginald on the skyway, chase lasting forever. With the helicopters right over his head, with the searchlights on. Oh man, now he starts panicking. Rachel's driving, so excited she's not realizing that just a block away, a man is on the run, while the husband's at home praying for a son. And the policeman is screaming for the call. Rachel calls her husband and says, I'm getting cold. He says, honey, I'm fixing up something special in the kitchen. And at the same time, Reginald makes a stupid decision. He turns down a one-way street. Then Rachel notices this car coming and yells out, out of control, a senseless mission. Next thing you know, a head-on collision. Oh, we don't know what tomorrow will bring us. Let's live today. I'm saying just in case.
I know that there's more. More for you, more for us.
Children, rain all night long. Didn't it all, my Lord. Didn't it rain? Didn't it rain, children? Rain all night long. Didn't it all? Didn't it all? Oh, my Lord. Didn't it rain? You can't run from it. You can't deny it. You can't pass it off. It's your call. God knew what he was doing. He knew who he was calling. And he expertly and intricately detailed every aspect of your life, your being, your persona, your psyche, your physicality, everything about you, from the texture of your hair to the color of your eyes to the way that you laugh to the fingerprint on your thumb, and everything is connected to your calling. And until you walk into the fullness of the thing that you were created for, you will find yourself frustrated. You're called. The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. Take a breath. You tuned in. Another day, another story on the way. So much noise out there. Let's clear the haze. Yeah. Dan J's here to bring you all the news. Every story, every voice from every point of view. Current events, real time. You in good hands tonight. This is Dan J. Let's get it. Yeah. Take a breath. You're tuned in now. Dan and Jay. I'm here with you. Another Another day, another story on the way. So much noise out there, hard to know what to believe. I ain't here to hype it up or tear it down. Just bring the truth to light, let it speak out loud. From the streets to the world stage, from the past to the front page. If it matters, say it loud. To bring you all the news, every story, every voice, from every point of view. And the J is here, current events, real time. Sit back, lock in, and tap your ears, yeah. You in good hands tonight. You good now. You good now. I know the world feels heavy when you turn it on. Every headline make you wonder where we coming from. But knowledge is power when it's done with care. So I slow it down, break it clear and fair. No rumors, no disguise, just facts and human lies. If it touch the people, then it cross my mind. The J is here. Oh. Two. Yes, I am. This is Ryan Hanson. Shout out to everybody that's here, man. I gotta do this real quick. For the people that was here for the 4 o'clock interview, I totally apologize. I had every intentions to be here at 4 o'clock to talk about the injustice of Baby Legacy. That's why I'm here now. Just to give you an update, my phone caught on fire, so I had to deal with that. Then I had to go get another phone, and y'all know how that go, going to phone carriers and all that. My R. Kelly show, I'm pushing that back into after I do this because this is priority. And I'm not saying that the R. Kelly show ain't priority, but this is priority because I had it scheduled, and then I have to reschedule. I have to reschedule that. But I'm going to give you an in-depth view of what's been going on. Y'all know my brother Shank Rock. He's covering different stories, and he actually set it up for me, and I feel bad that I wasn't there today at 4 o'clock. But things happen beyond my control. I'm gonna link up with Shank Rock, and we're gonna reschedule this thing and do it the right way. You know what I mean? What's that beeping like that? Okay, so the whole thing about Baby Legacy is I want to ask this question. Before I go any further, I do want to apologize to Baby Legacy mom, Miss Lashonda. I want to apologize to her for not being there at 4 o'clock, but we're gonna redo it. We're gonna redo it. We're gonna redo it. I'm gonna go here. This Baby Legacy situation has, since it's been dropped in my lap, it really got to me. It has, because I put myself in Miss Lashonda's shoes. What if it was your baby? What if? Yeah, Tunda, but the enemy is busy. And the enemy is busy. He don't want stories to come out. Listen, he done tried to attack my health. He done tried to attack my mental. He done tried to attack my communication device. It's not working. It's not working. Because I'm still gonna push through. But I put myself in that position. And I gotta say, Miss LaShonda is better than me. I must say that. Because I wouldn't be able to handle that. And the weird part about it is this story has garnered millions and millions and millions of views, went across worldwide airwaves because nobody can understand what's really going on. So I said, hell yeah, I want in. I'm going to be a voice of reason and I need that interview. You know what I mean? So the crazy part is I'm going to play a little bit of Shank Rock's interview and the coverage that he's been doing for this case. Sit back, y'all, and just listen to the injustice to this baby and to this family. Check it out.
To be held accountable. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. A press conference has been set for Baby Legacy at 2 p.m. this Thursday. Now, I do have Baby Legacy's mom. Hey, bring her up shortly. And I also have community activist John Barnett, as well as community activist Selena. And they're going to take us further into this press conference that is scheduled to take place. And I know many of y'all have a lot of questions. So that's why I do have the mom, LaShonda, I'm sorry, Mom, and Selena. How are you ladies doing this evening?
Good, as well as expected.
I'm doing well.
Okay. So talk to the people about the up and coming press conference. What can we expect?
Are you looking for the mom to talk about it, or?
Either one.
Okay.
Sister Selena, you can answer it.
Well, we're looking to have a press conference on Thursday. Hopefully we can get the attention of Novant Health so we can get the answers that this mother deserves. You know, as me being a mother, I can only empathize what Miss McGee is going through. I couldn't imagine anything like this happening to me. And that's why when John presented the case, I wanted to be all hands on deck. Anybody who knows me and who knows me well knows that my line in the sand is when it comes to families, especially children. So we're hoping that this press conference can give Miss McGee the answers that she rightfully deserves. Miss McGee, do you have anything to say?
I too hope that we get the attention of Novant Health. I feel like since this has happened in 2022, they have completely ignored me. They have made me voiceless. They have made me feel like I don't matter. And by ignoring all the demands that we've asked of them, by the threatening of calling the police on me several times, and the things that they've done have made me feel like a victim, and I'm not a victim. I just want to be heard. I want to know where my child is. That's it. I want to know where my child is.
And when I heard, I'm sorry, but
go ahead, Selena.
When I was able to sit down with Miss McGee, I was just listening and taking in everything that she was saying. I'm gonna be honest with you, my mouth dropped because I'm like, what? You know what I mean? My background is in healthcare administration. I used to work for Novant in the OR. So a lot of the things that she's saying, although my mouth dropped, I can see it happening only because of my past experience in being in the medical field. And so when I heard about this case, I wanted to jump on it, you know, for those reasons, as well as this mother. I think you said before, Miss McGee, like that was your only opportunity to have a child, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Ever since I was a little girl, you know how every little girl envisions being married and being the mother and all. My mom was a great mom. My mother was an amazing mom, and I wish every child could experience the childhood I had. And all I wanted to do was be like my mom, and my mom was a great mother. So all my life, I've always had the mentality of the nurturing, you know, the big sister type all my life. So once I've had a child before in 99 and I buried a child. So I know what it feels like to bury and grieve a child. I never felt that before with this situation. I never felt a grieving spirit in my bone when it came to losing her because I don't feel like she's gone. It's just something I can't explain it. Can't put my finger on it, but I do not feel like I lost a child, and I know what that feels like.
I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna say this. For the people that's wondering what's going on, right? From what I understand, and when I get back in touch with Miss McGee, she's gonna, you know, give the whole backstory. But from what I understand, and for the people that don't know, is that she went to this Novant Health. She had a beautiful baby. They said her baby was a preemie, from what I understand. So the mom went home for whatever reasons, and the hospital came back and called her and told her that her baby passed away. From what I was told, they brought her to the hospital and put her in a dark room where she couldn't see nothing. And they allegedly, but I'm saying allegedly, and because this is what I was told, they put a baby in her arms and said, "You can hold your baby for the last time in this dark room." Once they gave her baby, she held the baby, and then she, you know, the motherly duty, she gave the baby back, and then she went home. A couple days or a day, one of the two, the doctor called her and said, "Your baby is in great health," and then hung up after identifying himself and her. Then from that point, she wanted to go to the hospital to see what was going on. They gave her the runarounds. They threatened to call the police and everything. They told her her baby is dead. They sent the baby to a funeral home. The mother went to the funeral home. Miss LaShonda went to the funeral home. They sent a wrong baby of what she had. She had a little girl. They sent a little boy. She did a DNA test. DNA tests do not match. So now she's fighting to find out what happened to her baby girl. And as she just said, she never felt the feeling of losing a kid, a child, after she had already felt that feeling before. Now, I know for dads, we are different. But for mothers, they are different. A mother knows the feeling of losing a child. A mother knows the feeling of having a child. So when the feelings don't match up, a mother's going to question everything, and she have that right. So let's jump back into this. Let's finish. Yeah, EJ, you said the same thing I said when I first heard it. What the hell? So let's finish because
this mother is grieving because she want to know what happened to our child. There's a story out there, I forgot the name of it, where the child was swapped out and replaced. And I believe this is the same thing going on. But let's finish listening to this because this really had me intrigued. I'm on it. I'm mad I missed the interview today with her, but we will be back on top of this. Okay, watch.
So when I was told at 43, June of 21, I was 43 years old, and they said, hey, prepare in January to come back. I had surgery. They said prepare in January to come back and have a hysterectomy. You're not going to be able to have any more kids. And I left that hospital that day acknowledging that was my new reality. And I was okay with it. But you think one thing and God has other plans.
Yes.
September of 2021, I found out I was pregnant. Didn't expect it, didn't look for it, didn't try for it, didn't do anything. But it happened, and I do feel like that God put her here for a reason. Her father named her Legacy, and I think that name fits her the best I know how, because she will be our legacy. And I just believe that she's somewhere out there, and I just want her to come home.
Wow. Thank you for your transparency as well.
Yes. So I posted your story on my Facebook, and the response that we got, like, how did it make you feel to see so many people just coming to support you, as well as many other mothers that had experienced similar situations that you experienced? How did it make you feel?
Wow, I was overwhelmed. I was truly overwhelmed by the support and appreciative. I mean, words can't explain how you feel when you feel like for so long that you weren't being heard, or when you felt like for so long that people thought you were crazy because this is not you watch movies about stuff like this. This really doesn't happen, but it's happening. It's my reality. It's real life. It's not a Lifetime, not a Netflix. And I get a lot of times when people ask me, like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. They be like, it sounds like a Lifetime movie. And it does to a lot of people, but it's my real life story and it's my real life situation. And to get the outpouring and support, finally to be feeling like I'm not crazy. People understand my shock just like it was there, like from even with the pictures. That was the first time we were able to show the picture of the baby at the morgue. So that alone was like, finally somebody else can see what I saw, so that helped me feel like, okay, I'm not crazy. People understand why I feel the way I feel, and it was actually a breath of relief. And for people to reach out with so many stories similar to mine, I think I responded maybe to 4 or 5 of them, and my first sentence was, I'm sorry that we share the same pain. Because I never, and this is one thing I've said from day one, it's not about money for me. It's never been about money for me. It's about my daughter. I would trade in everything just to have my daughter. I want my daughter. I want answers on why I had to wait. She'll be 4 years old on the 13th of February. I've missed her first words, her first steps. I've missed everything that a mother can experience for her first. I can't get those things back. I can't get them back. I'll never have those. But I don't want any other mother in this world to ever feel what I felt. I never want this pain to be felt through any other woman in this world, because we go through enough pain bearing children. We shouldn't have to go through pain like this afterwards. It's not fair. It's just not fair.
I agree with you. And that's why, mother to mother, thank you for sharing your story and being transparent, because naturally, when women become mothers, that's something sacred. You know
It
what
is.
I mean? And so this story was so important to me because I couldn't imagine your pain as a mother. You know what I mean? I carried 2 children. I've had the opportunity and the blessing to see them grow, you know. And in your case, this is something that you may not be able to do, you know. And so, I mean, we're hoping otherwise. But if this had not become to the light, your story would have been untold.
Exactly. And I thank you guys so much for stepping in. I have thought, I've had nothing but time to think. And over the past 3 years, almost 4 years, I've done nothing but think. And I thought about when, after her first year on earth, I said, okay, well, you know, she's still at that point where we can still, you know, carry a bond. I was a foster parent for many years. So I know what it's like to bond with the child and then have the child to leave your home. And, you know, even though you knew the child wasn't yours and you didn't know how long it was going to be there, you still build a bond with that child, you know? So I know what that feels like. And I'm thinking about the other parents. I don't know if the people who have my child know it's my child or not. I pray they don't. But they've built a bond with my child too. I'm thinking about the counseling that people's gonna have to go through, the children, you know, my kids too.
Wow.
Like I adopted 2 children and they gotta learn that, you know, there's something that's here now. And I have to explain to them why we didn't see her for the first 4 years of her life, you know? And then they gotta have a bond. And it's just so much, it's so much to this. It's so much to this. And every day that passes, I'm missing something. 4 years, you go to pre-K. First day of school.
Okay, for the people that came in late, right? Once again, her baby was taken by the hospital and switched out. And on top of that, they told her that her baby passed away. However, the baby that was sent to the corner, or should I say the funeral home, that baby was not a baby girl, it was a baby boy, and the DNA did not match. So now she's at the hospital trying to get answers and trying to get her baby, and the hospital has threatened to call the police and have her locked up for trespassing. So that's what's going on.
People don't understand the things that I'm missing out on. I just asked where was my child, and I asked day 1 where was she at. That's all I wanted to know. Where is she? They could have put an end to this a long time ago. They could have said, we made a mistake. She is this place or whatever. I would have accepted that in the beginning. But you allow years to pass and ignore me, ignoring my cry out to say I want my child, acting like I'm invisible and have no voice. That's not fair to me. That's not fair. And it's not fair to Legacy either. It's just not fair.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Now, we are dealing with social media, and we know that social media is cruel, regardless of the situation, regardless of what you may be going through. I mean, I've seen some comments on some posts that, you know, I said people out here are really on demon time, as they call it. Now, have any of the comments been harsh? Like, has anyone made a comment? Well, it's been 4 years, just get over it. And if they didn't, what would you say to somebody? Because I know those comments are coming. What would you say to somebody that would, you know, have the audacity to say that to you as a mom?
I honestly have not seen any yet. And I try to monitor what I see as much as I can. I you know, people don't know what to say until they put themselves in a situation. And that's what I would say to them. if it was your child? The same thing I said to the doctor who forced me to have her. Do you have kids? I asked her, do you have children? She said, I have 2. I said, would you tell your girls to have this baby this early? She couldn't even answer me.
Wow.
And that's what I would say to them. Would you stop looking for your child after 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
After 14 years, would you stop looking for your child? A mother carries a baby. We're the heartbeat they dance to. We are the sound that they're used to. We carried her. I am attached to her. I can't just forget about her. People pass away and people don't forget about them.
Mm-hmm.
So you think someone in this world, I could be passing her in the store and not even know it. That's not fair. And so that's what I would say to them. Would they do it if it was their child, their loved one? Would they just forget about it and move on?
And you said this happened in 2022, is that correct?
Yes, February 2022.
So we're going on almost a 4-year journey of this, correct?
It'll be 4 years old, February 13th, 2022.
And the hospital, besides you asking these questions, but you have not received a real answer. Is that correct?
I have never received an answer from the hospital as of yet. The hospital has acted as if I am not saying anything. They completely act as if I'm invisible, like I don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And I do.
And who were the doctors that were involved?
Dr. Perthy, and her last name starts with the S. I can't pronounce her last name S. She was the one who lied. She completely lied. She told me that she called me and told me my child was alive, and she did not. I am not crazy. I know a man's voice from a female's voice. I was not alone. We both know we heard a man's voice. And Dr. K, who is the actual doctor who was overseeing my daughter in the NICU, he literally announced who he was when he called, like any doctor would when they call. He said, "Hi, Miss Hunter, this is Dr." And he said his name, Dr. K. I call him Dr. K because I can't pronounce his last name. But he said, "This is Dr. K." I wish you guys could understand the excitement in his voice is what got me. He was so excited because, again, he was overseeing my daughter in the NICU. So he saw me come downstairs to see my daughter. He knew how hard I was pushing for her to get everything she needed. So for him as a doctor seeing a patient that's fighting for their child, imagine you being excited to tell that mother that her child is doing better.
Mm-hmm.
So for no reason do I think that he made a mistake, by far. He was so excited. That man was excited when he called me.
Who was your OB?
My OB was Harris, Dr. Harris and Dr. Flood.
Okay.
Dr. Flood was the last doctor that I saw the night before some lady came in and forced me to have a cesarean.
Okay.
Dr. Flood saw me that night and told me that I was stable and he'll see me Monday. And then this lady came in and said otherwise.
Got you. Okay. So the call came from the doctor on call at Novant?
Yes. It wasn't from Dr. Flood. Dr. Flood didn't make the call. I asked him when he came to see me on that Monday, like he said, he would see me Monday. When he came in that Monday, it was weird because him and Dr. Harris were together that day.
Okay.
And they both came to visit me bedside. And he asked me, I asked him, I said, "Why did I have to have her? You told me I was stable and fine." He said, "I don't know. I wasn't there." He said, "But she looks good down there and you got to fight her." And again, they acknowledged I had a girl. No one ever said I had a boy. I went down there. I saw my baby girl. The sign on her bed with the pictures I have said it's a girl. Or it says baby girl Hunter.
Ooh, that's deep right there.
Nothing ever said I had a boy. So it was an insult to send a boy to a morgue and tell me that was my child.
And just so the viewers are aware, when they told you that your legacy was dead, when it came down to I guess, making preparations for the death, they end up giving you information or giving you a boy baby. Is that correct?
Yes. So when they initially called the night, it was about 10 something at night, they called and said she had passed.
Mm-hmm.
I did not go to the hospital that night. I had a cesarean. I couldn't drive. I couldn't go that night. I was distraught. It just wasn't going to happen that night. So they said that was fine. I can come in the morning. I got there early that morning with my sister and one of my best friends that came from Virginia. And we waited hours. They had me waiting hours to see her. They had us in this pretty glass office conference room. While we was waiting, they kept sending people in there saying I need to find a funeral home. I'm not from Charlotte. I'm not from North Carolina, so I don't know funerals because I've never buried anybody here. Mm-hmm. So I told them I was going to wait until I got home and talk to her father, who's from Charlotte. Okay. And that I would get, where his family would be, comfortable with burying her at. So then they had me sign paperwork. They told me they were going to go ahead and have me sign the paperwork. So when I call back up with the funeral home, then the funeral home can go ahead and pick her up. So I signed the paperwork. After signing the paperwork, we still waited for I don't know how long. They finally escorted me to a closet. When I'm not making this up. When I say closet, a closet. It was dark, no windows. It was shelves all the way around. 3 out of the 4 walls. It was 3 walls of shelves. There was a cart in there with It's a Boy present bag with balloons out of it. There was baby bottles, like gift items for babies, Pampers and stuff in there. And it was 2 chairs they had placed in there. It was 3 of us. They went and tried to find a 3rd chair. They found a 3rd chair. They forced the chair in it. It was, when I say forced it, like they could barely get it in there. They then brought a baby wrapped up, completely wrapped up in blankets, brought the baby in there. They handed us the baby. They closed the door with a crack, literally a crack in it, and told us they was going to leave us to have some time with the baby. It was 3 of us in there. All 3 of us were crying. All 3 of us were upset. I cannot tell you what that baby looked like. I can't tell you because I did not examine it. I did not open the covers. I didn't do anything because I'm thinking I'm holding my deceased child.
Yeah.
So I didn't do any of that. They came back. They got the baby. We walked out. At that point, when we walked out, we realized we were literally in a closet. Like, we all looked at each other like we were in a closet. And when we got home, I started to proceed to make the arrangements. I asked her father which funeral home. He told me the funeral home. I called back up there. I told them the funeral home. They said, okay. Mind you, I already signed the paperwork. So that was it for me. Once I did that, the funeral home called me the next day and said that they would call me with a conference call on, what's the next steps or whatever. I've never buried a child in Charlotte. So I'm just going by what they tell me to do. And that's what I was doing. I was preparing for the funeral up until the phone call on the 22nd when Dr. K called me and told me she was alive and well.
Hold on. Okay, so hold on. You making preparations for the death of Legacy.
Yes.
And you get a call from the hospital saying that she's alive and well.
Yes.
Okay. Then what happens?
He told me she was alive and well. He was excited. Like I said before, he was excited. He told me he was super optimistic about, her outcome. And I froze up. My assistant was like, you told her she was dead. And he's like, am I talking to Ms. Hunter? And I said, yes. And he hung the phone up. I kept calling back. They would put me on hold. They would hang up. They would not answer. They would put me on hold, hang up. And if anybody knows, the NICU has their own line. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you got to go through the main line to get to this line. They have their own line. Mm-hmm. So I'm calling and calling. They're hanging up. They're leaving me on hold for forever. And so finally, someone picked up and said that they were going to have somebody call me. And I told them what happened. And she said, oh, well, I'll have somebody call you back. Nobody ever called back. So that's when I started looking for lawyers and stuff. But at the time, it was so much going on that, lawyers are in court and stuff. So nobody was picking up for the attorneys either. So I called the news. The news answered. I don't know how I got them to answer, but they answered. And she said, it was actually one of the head news people. She said she didn't want to mess me up. She wanted me to obtain a lawyer first before she talked to me about it. And so I said, okay. So then later on that evening, the hospital called me back. It was Dr. Preffery. The lady starts with an S, the ends with an S. She, who honestly called me on the 19th, she was the one that pronounced her dead. She called me and said, I'm sorry, Ms. Hunter, your number was attached to another file and I shouldn't have called you. I said, you never called me. She said, no, it was me. I called you. I said, you did not call me.
Wow.
And she said, no, I did. And your number was attached to somebody else's file and it was another baby. I said, well, I want to see that baby. She said, we can't show you that. I said, I want to see that baby. I'm on my way up there to see that baby. And she said, if I come up there, then they were going to have to call security and have me arrested.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
That, thank God, after I hung up with her, one of the attorneys that I had contacted early on called me back, and that's who helped me through the process. And she called them the next day and asked for, sent a letter of immediate investigation, and nothing was done. At that point, when they ignored her, she was trying to think of other ways to kind of, get the ball rolling so we can figure out what's going on. And she said, let's call the funeral home and see what baby they have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we called the funeral home. And one of the funeral home, the lady that was assigned to us, my attorney and myself and her were on a 3-way call. And she said she thought it was too much for me to handle. So she asked me if she can send the picture of the baby to my attorney. At this point, I trust nobody. So I said, no, send it to me too. So she sent it to both of us. And the picture she sent us was a little boy.
Mm.
And she said, are you sure you had a girl?
Woo, wait.
I said, I'm absolutely sure I had a girl.
Right. Let me just slide in. So now with community activist John Barnett being involved, as well as me and Selena, John Barnett has scheduled a press conference this Thursday at 2 p.m. And it's going to be at the Novant Health Presbyterian Medical Center, 200 Hawthorne Lane, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28204. Now, I do have some mothers that's in the chat that has experienced this similar situation that I was speaking of.
What?
Now, Selena, at this press conference, because mothers from all over are planning to attend this. Just the regular supporters are planning on coming. What can they expect? Will they be able to ask any questions? Will they be able to give their story? What can they expect, Selena, when they come?
Well, first of all, I hope all of those mothers who showed up on comments and may have inboxed, if you're listening, I hope all of you come. And with your voices, it would help bring to light what is going on in these hospitals. Because unfortunately, like I have said many times before, in order for us to get justice, we have to fight for it. And should no mother have to fight for knowing if their child is here or not? Okay. So with that being said, any mothers who choose to come out, I hope that we can make a voice for them as well, because who knows? This may become a class action suit. I mean, I don't know. We don't know where this may take us, but I am thankful for Miss McGee for being that strong voice who's bringing a light to this. So with that being said, any mothers who anything may similar happen, I hope that we will be able to make a voice for you as well.
And I do have one of the moms. She's about to click on the link to join us on the panel. because all mothers needs to support, because as you say, it don't have to be your situation, but it could be your situation today or tomorrow. So we want to rally around Miss McGee.
Yes. Hello, Alicia.
Hey,
Hi,
Alicia.
ladies. Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes. Hi, y'all. So,
Hey.
yes. I want to first say thank you for having me on. To the other mother, I do apologize. I do strongly feel your pain. Yeah. I just like the other mother. I was told that I needed to have an emergency C-section. I refused the C-section in the beginning. They have it in my charts. I actually went down and got my medical charts today. I'm not sure why it says delay in the microphone, but I'll continue on.
I'm lost.
I went and got my medical records.
These
It does
devices
state
can
in
play
there
games
that
sometimes.
I was refusing the C-section at first.
Yeah, these devices can play games if you don't got it set right.
Then they told me, they expressed to my mother their concerns about if I did not get the C-section, what would happen. So after a while, I agreed to getting the C-section. A few days later, they came and got me and let me know before called me and told me that they needed me to come downstairs because Jocelyn was not looking good. So I begged them to save my daughter. They said that they were going to do everything that they could do and that they would let me know how things come along. Later on that night, around 10 p.m., which I find funny because they came and got you around 10 p.m.
That's harvesting time.
Or they called you around 10 p.m. They let me know that she wasn't looking good and that I needed to come downstairs. I went downstairs and I remember they took me downstairs in a wheelchair and there was nurses and doctors standing around me.
Mm-hmm.
The lady that came to come and get me was standing directly in front of me. I was holding my baby, and after a few minutes of holding my baby, they told me that she was gone.
Whoa.
This was my first time seeing my baby, because after I delivered her, they took her straight to the NICU. They didn't let me see her. I didn't lay eyes on her. Only thing I knew was the pictures that my mom had showed me. And the pictures that she had took were kind of like, the phones weren't so good in 2017.
Wait a minute. I got to stop this for a second. Because when you cover stories like this, you get attached to them. But you also got to sit back and think, right? What type of people would actually steal somebody else's offspring for their gratification? I'm at the point where I'm ready to boycott every hospital, including the one that I was delivered in. This is crazy. And it's happening all over the world. Which now is going to make me go back and visit a story that I put out 5 years ago. Excuse me. So let's finish listening to this. And once again, I want to thank Shank Rock and the Rock Squad and for putting this out. Y'all go like, share, subscribe, Shank Rock page. I stamped that. I know he ain't going to turn on me. I know he ain't going to get up there and clouterism and then try to turn on me. I know that. But let's listen to this, y'all. Let's go.
As they are now. So they were kind of, they weren't just as clear as I would see her as if she was in person. So anyway, the nurse told me that she was gone. And I remember, like I said, just hanging my head down low and saying, just take me back upstairs to my room. I went back upstairs to my room and I just remember just being so upset about it. A few days later, that's when I found out that I was they were giving me depression medicine.
Oh.
I asked them to take me off the depression medicine because I felt like I didn't need it. For some reason, they felt like, which was in my charts, that I was in denial that my baby was gone. Fast forward, I recently went and had a baby. I had a baby after this. My baby had passed, supposedly.
Wait a minute. What?
An employee came up to me and informed me that something was off about my records. So
that's God.
I went to asking her what was off.
That's God.
She informed me some things that was in my chart that she seen that stated that I had a little boy. And that as she could see, there was like really no mother's version. There was no mother's verification, like the birth certificate to say that I had the baby. She was confused because she said it was a neonatal death. And normally when there's a neonatal death, you get a birth certificate. So that raised a red flag to her. I then asked her for a death certificate. She went to go and try to search for a death certificate. There was no death certificate. Okay. Going forward, there are some things that are now unraveling. I have been searching for a death certificate for Jocelyn. There are no records of a death certificate. I recently spoke to the health department here down in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Here we go.
Which, after a baby is born, anytime there's a birth certificate or a death certificate, it goes to the health department. From the health department, it goes up to state. The lady from the health department told me that there are no records of a death certificate. She searched Jocelyn's first and last name. She searched my last name because it could have been a mix-up to where they had, instead of Jocelyn's name, they could have listed her as Baby Pringle in the system. She did a search from the time Jocelyn was born, and I even had her search a little bit wider up until November 15th. There was no babies listed that had passed away during that time under those names. I did some more searching. Again, there is no death certificate. North Carolina statute states that, for one, after a passing in the hospital, at least as far as I know, they have 5 days to complete a death certificate.
Yep.
Why that death certificate was not completed, I do not know. Not only that, in order to cremate a baby or to cremate any human that had passed,
you need a death certificate.
There has to be a death certificate.
Yep.
So if she was cremated, how was she cremated without that death certificate?
Do you have legal representation right now?
Her playback is in one of the tabs, and she can't find it.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Because I'm having a delay in the.
Sure. Do you have legal representation right now, like a
I don't.
lawyer? Okay. And you said this happened in 2017,
It did.
and you have no answers.
I
Is that
have
correct?
no answers. I even asked.
Excuse me.
I even asked the medical records down in Wilmington, North Carolina today. Is there anything in her records? Because she read me out her records. She could not give me her records because I don't have that death certificate.
She was
So,
not.
but she
Whoa.
was able to read them out to me because I had the birth certificate.
Pause. She was not supposed to read anything off that chart. That's a HIPAA violation. She was supposed to have you come in and y'all sit down and look over together. As long as you have as long as you have the bamboozled birth certificate. This is what I tell all mothers and fathers. Before you are created to be a parent, you are the offspring's mother and father. The reason why they can consider your offspring a child and they can consider the mother and father a parent, which at the age of 2 of that child completion cycle, you are no longer considered a parent. You're considered an obligor or obligee. The father is considered the obligor. The mother is considered the obligee. With that being said, they have created the fictional person and they have stolen the proper persona person. When you sign in affidavits in the hospital, you are not signing for a birth certificate. That's what they tell you because you're sedated and you under meds and they don't think you understand. Well, you're not supposed to understand because that's a contract of them wanting you to understand. You have to overstand that contract and let them know, I don't want a birth certificate. I want the original certificate of live birth that I'm signing for. And when people start overstanding that, they will overstand the fact that your birth certificate is nothing but a fictional you that you're not even supposed to be talking about or presenting. Your certificate of live birth is the bond that they use to trade on a Wall Street. I'm gonna get to that later, but we're gonna talk about this a little bit more.
And of course, my ID. I asked her to look to see if there was a certain morgue that came and picked my baby up or a certain place that they sent my baby. There's nothing listed as to who came and picked my baby up or where they sent her.
Because your baby is still living.
Wow.
And this was in this is Novant in Wilmington, correct?
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. That's the same
Right.
hospital? Hold on. This hospital must be selling offsprings. Now, here's the gruesome truth. If the hospital chain is selling babies, they could be going to one of 3 places. And a lot of people ain't ready for these answers. One, they could be going to a home that paid millions of dollars for that baby. 2, they could be going to a home to be groomed by these people that paid millions of dollars for the baby blood type. Pause. Here's the worst part. The baby, 3, the baby could be stolen to be groomed by people that paid millions of dollars for this baby, to be raised by these people just to be humiliated and destroyed when they get of age. Last but not least, these babies could be sold for adrenochrome. In 2017, that was the height of Roe versus Wade. In 2017, that's when everybody was talking about shutting down Planned Parenthood. So if you want to shut down Planned Parenthood, guess where we coming to get our adrenochrome from next? The hospitals. And when you have hospital chains that's willing to transfer wealth for wealth, you have nothing coming. You have to stay on that. Let's continue.
Wow.
This seems like you need some legal representation as well. I would hope that this is not something that Novant is used to doing. You know,
It seems to me almost as if it's a pattern, because
Definitely a pattern.
for our stories to line up from the time, even them kind of forcing us to have a cesarean section at an early gestational age, up until, you know, the gender, just not having proper answers.
I'm gonna stop that because see, a lot of people don't know. If they force you to have a C-section early, and there's nothing wrong with your vaginal areas, nothing wrong with the baby's breathing or anything, it's because they're after your placenta. It's something special about your blood. Your blood type, and I'm gonna put it out there, if you B, if you A plus, if you are O negative or O positive, or if you just flat O, be leery about who you give your blood to. Those are rare blood types. And when you are leery about when you are very careful about who you give your blood type to, they ain't gonna be able to get over on you like that. But because people don't know, this is what happens.
Seems like this is their normal to me.
I think that Novant thinks that Black women particularly are uneducated, as they call us. And I think they think we're voiceless and that we're going to just go away, as they candidly said to my attorney. Will she just eventually go away?
I see the problem. Okay, I think I fixed the problem. This is a lot better. Okay.
They asked me, would I eventually just go away? No, I'm not just going to go away. We're not just going to let you do what you want to do with our children. No, we're not. And I'm disappointed because it's not all of the people that work in the hospital. We can't label it for all of them. No, but people know things. People are afraid to say things. People are afraid to stand up. It was things going on when I was in the hospital that was weird. And I look back on now like, oh my God, that's why they did this. Or that's why they did that. You know, I remember the day I was giving birth, there was a news anchor that was giving birth to the same time in the hospital room down from me. And everybody was talking about the news anchor's baby. And when I got home, the same day they called me and told me my daughter was still alive, they announced that day that she was home and well and had the new baby and stuff on the news. But they were white. You know, so it's a difference. It's a difference all the way around.
And what I don't believe is, just looking back over everything, I don't think they thought that we were going to dig this deep.
Yeah.
I think that what they thought was they could just brush it off and just go. Even with me going down the medical records today, there was an inside reliable source who was giving me information that she could see. Information that is not listed on my medical records. So there's things that they go into detail, which is like through personal protection information that's in there in that chart, but it's not in my medical record. So what the medical lady from medical records today, she advised me to do is to reach out to them, and they could give me the documentation that was word for word for word for word.
Facts.
And that's what I'm going to do. Because again, where's her body? Yeah. If she is deceased, where is she? And how is it that she was able to get cremated without a death certificate? How are you able to do anything without that death certificate? I can't even get her medical records without the death certificate.
I will tell you that medical records is a tricky thing too, because when I was fighting after I went down there after having a cesarean, after they called me back and told me she was alive, I was at the hospital the next day in their medical records department. Mm-hmm. And the lady looked at me and she said, "I can't get your records." I said, "Why you can't?" Why? And she said, "Somebody's in your records right now. They can have them locked."
Oh, Jesus.
And I said, "You can't." Yep. What do you mean? She said, "I can't get in them." Then she said, "Well, just wait a while." I stayed up there for 4 hours waiting to get my records. They gave me 25 pages. I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 4 days. Legacy was in the hospital for 6. You and I both know that you're going to have more than 25 pages.
So wait. Your baby passed away on the 6th day?
Mm-hmm.
My baby passed away on the 6th day. My baby was born on My baby was born on October 23rd. Her death date is October 28th. I literally have the paperwork here stating 6 days later, she passed away.
Wow.
6
days for me.
It almost, excuse me, just for 1 second.
That's crazy.
Crazy and scary at the same time.
I keep trying to tell you. All right, so we're gonna go from this to modern day time. We're gonna go to the one of the press conferences. Here we go. Shout out to Miss Parker. Go like, share, subscribe her page, and Miss Parker bringing the coverage. Check it out. This was this week. Check it out. Well, today actually. Check it out.
Hey, how you doing, Sneaker? Happy Saturday.
Miss Parker.
Shank Rock got his Air Force Ones on. I see you, shorty.
Alicia.
I don't believe so.
That's before the press conference.
The purpose of this town hall is to create awareness, truth, and healing. This is a conversation, not a conviction, because our goal is to create a space of trust and inclusiveness for respectful dialogue and community reflection. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome community members, leaders, and the media here today. Also acknowledge the families impacted by medical trauma, such as Alicia Pringle Morris. We appreciate you for coming out and your support. Now let us introduce our panel. Today I have Councilman Malcolm Graham. Thank you so much for coming. I have Lorenzo Hopper of the Charlotte Maternal and Health Work Group Leadership, as well as Reverend Kareem Mack from the NAACP. It's an honor to have you all here. Now, I want to bring up to the stage Ms. LaShonda Hunter to share Legacy's story and the reason why we are here today.
Ms. Parker should zoom in.
First, I want to thank everyone for being here. Your presence means more to me than you realize. Today is not about my family. Today is about something bigger than one story, one moment, or one experience. Today is about truth, awareness, and healing. This gathering is called Legacy's Voice because my daughter's story deserves to be heard. But beyond that, it represents the voices of so many families who have experienced confusion, unanswered questions, a deep pain within systems that are meant to care for us. Today is not about attacking any individual or any particular institution. Today is about something greater. It is about accountability, transparency, and making sure that families are never without answers when it matters the most. As a mother, you never expect the most joyful moment of your life, bringing a child into the world, to turn into the most confusing and painful experience imaginable. What began as the birth of my daughter's turned into a journey that has lasted years. A journey filled with questions, inconsistencies, a moment that no parent should ever have to experience. But I want to be very clear about something. This gathering is not about anger. It's about awareness. It is about learning from lived experiences. And it is about ensuring that moving forward, families across the country can trust the systems that are responsible for caring for them during the most vulnerable moments of their lives. When families enter hospitals or medical facilities, they are placing their full trust in the people and the systems responsible for their life and care. They trust that the information they receive will be accurate. And most importantly, they trust if something goes wrong, they will receive honesty, transparency, and compassion. But when communication breaks down, when answers are unclear, and when families are left searching for the truth, the damage goes far beyond one moment. It affects trust in the entire system. That is why conversations like this one that we are having today is important. Today, we bring together community leaders, activists, health professionals, civil rights voices, and everyday citizens to talk about something that our office that affects us all. Because maternal health, patient transparency, and family rights are not just personal issues, they are community issues. They are public health issues. They are human issues. This town hall is a space for open dialogue, a space for learning, a space for healing. Experiences like this do not end when the moment passes. Families carry the emotional impact for years. The uncertainty, the unanswered questions, the trauma of not fully understanding what happened. That is why today we have invited professionals who understand the psychological and emotional effects of those experiences. Because healing is not only about policy change, healing is about acknowledging the emotional weight that family carries when they feel unheard and unseen. While my family experience is what brought us here today, but this conversation is much bigger than me. Across the country, families have spoken, out about moments when they felt confused, dismissed, or left without clear answers during critical medical situations. When those experiences happen, people begin to lose confidence in the system that should be built on trust. The trust is the foundation of healthcare. If trust breaks down, communities suffer.
That's
So
right,
today
lady.
I'm about restoring that
Miss
trust through
Parker,
transparency,
Andy
accountability, and
Shankrock, and
dialogue.
Rock Squad, and
Out
the
of this
Riders.
experience came something important. The idea that we can take pain and turn it into purpose. That is where the idea for legacy law was born.
Right, Lex.
Legacy law represents the belief that families should have stronger protection, clear communication, and transparent processes when it comes to maternal care, newborn care, and patient rights. It is about ensuring that families never feel like they are navigating difficult situations alone. It is about making that clarity, documentation, and accountability are all present when it matters most. Legacy law is not about blame. It is about improvement. It is about strengthening the system that serves our communities. And it is about making sure that no other family experiences the uncertainty that mine have faced. Before we move forward, with our speakers today, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something important. Every person in this room comes from a different background, different experience, and different perspectives. But today we share one thing that is common. We all believe in families deserve truth. We all believe that patients deserve transparency. We all believe our communities deserve systems that they can trust. Today we will hear from leaders in civil rights, healthcare advocacy, trauma awareness, and community leadership. Each of them bring a unique perspective to the conversation. My hope is by the end of the day, we will leave here not only more informed, but more united in the effort to build stronger, more transparent systems for the families that will come after us. Because that is what Legacy's voice truly represents. A voice of truth, a voice of healing, a voice for change. Thank you for being here. I just want to say I have 25 years in the medical field, so I see it from both perspectives as a former healthcare professional as well as a mother. So I thank Ms. Hunter for putting this together. I think awareness is definitely needed because oftentimes our voices are muffled, unfortunately. So we are going to start this off with Councilman Graham. I again appreciate him for coming and taking his time out to do this.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity to be here today and to be a part of this panel. Thank you for sharing your story and having the courage and the conviction to share it so publicly. My daughter is expecting her third child. It's in the state of Georgia. And so I understand the importance of a strong pregnancy, the importance of relying on healthcare workers to lead and guide and provide services, and the importance of truth and honesty and care. So I'm here today to just kind of be with you and to respond to some of the questions that you asked me to in the letter that you sent to me. As a member of the city council, sometimes we get requests that kind of falls outside our jurisdiction. This is one of them.
Wow.
But as a community leader, all issues are important to me. Your issues are my issues. Your concerns are my concerns. And when you're dealing with institutions in our community that deliver a service that adds to the quality of life of the whole community, I should weigh in and provide a perspective and help guide and lead in the right direction. City of Charlotte doesn't have the health department or medical care. That's a county issue. Before I got here, I talked to some of my good friend Mark Jorrell, who is the chairman of the Mecklenburg County Commission, just to kind of get a perspective of the issue of maternal health, the services that they provide for the community, the big issue that it is in our community. Certainly, Congressman Anna Adams lives and breathes that each and every day, right? And those reading the stats and the figures that it is the.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't like what he's saying. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Because he's given a premeditated speech to try to sympathize and to try to put a Band-Aid over what's going on. When it comes to offsprings, when it comes to children, no Band-Aids need to be put on. The wound need to hurt. Because the city council, as well as the hospital, as well as the people that's harboring the hospital, need to understand that at the end of the day, they entered into a contract to make sure that people, that mothers that bring their offspring there are taken care of and not stolen and not mutilated and not hurt. But they are taken care of. They also have to understand that when you take something or someone from a group of people, there's a void there. And that void will always be there. So you need to let them understand and help them understand that that void have to be semi-closed or closed. And the only way you can close that void is to bring the truth. Not what you want them to believe, but what actually happened. I'm glad that Shank Rock reached out to me, because now we about to go to school. Now, not only is Shank Rock applying pressure, not only is Miss Parker applying pressure, not only is John C. Barnett applying pressure, but now you have the conservative one applying pressure. So now I'm going to bring it from a whole nother angle. I'm going to bring it from a whole nother day. I'm going to bring it from a whole nother truth and another lens. Because what I see is collusion. And the question is, if you were so comfortable to do it then, how many other times have you did it before? And the collusion that I see have a lot to do with the city council, have a lot to do with the hospital. So when he sat there and said, as part of the city council, we do things out of our scope, you're lying. Because a hospital can't operate without the city council approval. A lot of the grants that the hospital get come from the penmanship of where? The city council. So the only way you can get to these hospitals is stop the currency flow. How do you stop the currency flow? You attack the oligarchs, because it ain't nobody else. It ain't no donors like they tell you no. If you attack the oligarchs and stop all of the funding, the hospital can't stand. And they can't pay you off. So the question will be, how far are we the people willing to go against these Luciferians? I dropped that nugget there. I'll be back. on Tuesday. But I'm going to get with Shank, and we're going to set up another interview between me and Miss Hunter. Because today, it fell through, and it was on my end. Nobody else's. It was supposed to have been at 4. My phone caught fire at 3:15 as I was setting up the live. And when I went live today, I just got back. So with that being said, bear with me. The press conference is coming. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Be someone important. Be yourself. And until next time we speak, just remember, elephants don't swat flies and jets fly over turbulence. We'll be seeing you soon. Peace. I also want to thank everybody that donated. I want to thank everybody that didn't have the means to donate. I want to thank everybody that wanted to donate. But that's not mandatory. What's mandatory is as you leave it out, please hit that like button. Violate me. Hit that like button, y'all. Definitely subscribe. I sound tongue-tied. Definitely subscribe. Go ahead and share all the videos out so the world can catch the masses of what's going on. And if you really like what you hear, join the Dream Team. Because when I go live for members only, I want you to be a part. I don't want you to look on the outside and say, man, I wish I could have been. Well, you can be. Just join. And I have the cheapest membership on YouTube. With that being said, Dana J. Gone. Go like, share, subscribe, Miss Parker and the Riders. Go like, share, subscribe, Shank Rock and the Rock Squad. And keep Baby Legacy and Miss Hunter in your prayers. Luciferians, we coming to tear your kingdom down. I'm out.
Gently touches my soul. Feels just like fire shut up in me. Yeah. Simply lose control. Oh, rain down, follow me. Let your love just fall like raindrops rain. Follow me. Oh, rain down, follow me. Let your love just fall like raindrops rain. Follow me. Remember me from Lake Clifton, Eastern High School, also down at the Harbor Place, working at the fudgery. I was always singing at the Jeter shows. That time was so special to me. There's so much more to Dana J than what the eye can see. I want you to know I love you. I want you to know I need you. Where would I be without you? Nowhere, 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 nowhere. Feel it in my music, along with the stories I bring up. I'm never gonna lose it. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way. I bring you. I'm never gonna lose it. No way, no way, no way, no way. Another Dana J classic.